it's Adam here from Real Schools, putting some finishing touches on our leading whole school behaviour improvement event for Sydney on Friday morning. I am utterly rapt to be meeting so many of you, in fact, that this message and this email is a little reminder, a little heads up that we've changed the venue. Our original destination at the Novotel couldn't handle the numbers that we came in with and wanted to seat you theatre style as a result, and we said nah, because we're giving you a roadmap so that you can go back to your school. You need a table to work at, so we're moving a little further away from the Novotel. We're going to go to Carstens Convention Centre. It's at 111 Harrington Street in Sydney, in the CBD still, and we're on level 1, so just keep that in mind. This email will have with it, somewhere above or below my head, we'll have with it some instructions around parking as well if you're planning to drive into the city for the event, and I hope you don't mind. We really wanted to make sure that it was a productive day for you and you didn't have any difficulty considering the free time that you're giving up before term 4. So my 2 big reminders, if you remember from your registration email. Number 1, show up. If you've registered for this thing, actually fight that psychology that happens when the alarm clock goes off bright and early on Friday morning. You'll be tempted, take that last full day. Come in, it's going to be worth your time. And secondly is come in on time. I'm going to kick off exactly on 8 o'clock. I'm going to give you 120 minutes of flat out engagement and work, and then I'm going to stick around so that we can have a chat about it afterwards if that's what you would really like to do. Can't wait to see you. I think it's going to be a fabulous event. We had a great time in Melbourne. Tacked onto the end of this little video is a couple of little snippets of what people had to say in Melbourne last week. And now that I've tried it out on the guinea pig south of the border, I reckon I can make sure that this is the piece de resistance is Sydney on the 11th. All right, I'll see you then. Okay, bye for now. So Tom, thanks very much for coming along, mate. Really appreciate you being here today. Can you tell me what was the number 1 takeaway from you for today?
I guess the approach with restorative practice, the actual classroom practice, and what you can take away as a tool for teachers to use tomorrow, next week, next term, is something that will actually impact on the students. I think it's so important that kids have a good mindset going into a classroom, otherwise teaching and learning just doesn't exist.
Yeah, I like that. The idea of focusing on impact rather than just what we do.
Exactly.
What does what we do
and
to other people?
I think how you mentioned the fact that the teachers are with the kids, we're doing education together. It's not me telling you what to do, I'm doing it with you.
Yep.
That's something really resonated with me today.
Cool. So what was the experience like for you with the couple of hours in the room today?
I wish it went longer. It was on the money. I was sitting there going, yep, that makes sense, that works, I understand. So yeah, I wish it went all day, even though it's the holidays, but yeah, no, it was really good.
I think that understanding thing is really important for teachers, isn't it? Not just here, do this, but actually let's help people to understand it.
Yeah, and that's something that I took away from today, was the fact that it's a mindset shift for teachers. It's not, here's a tool, go and implement a program. It's a whole shifting culture across the school. And I think that's something that's really big, because so many schools implement a program, go off and do it, instead of a shift in mindset and culture to actually model to the kids what we want them to do instead of telling them what to do.
Makes a lot of sense, mate. Thanks so much for coming along, Tom.
Thank you,
really
mate.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
No worries. So Zana, Lucia, thank you so much for coming in today and giving up a couple of hours of your holidays. Zana, you spent 120 minutes looking at student behaviour and how we can improve and how we can lead that improvement in schools. What's your nugget? What's your morsel that you're going to take away with you after today?
My nugget, firstly, that a lot of the stuff that we do is really good, really about restorative justice, but it just reminds me to use that beautiful, empathetic, feelings language with the kids, because it does really work. Yeah.
What about you, Lucia? What's your, I guess I mentioned that in any 90-minute presentation, we had a bit more than that. You get 7 seconds of content, roughly.
Yeah.
So what's your one that's under your skin after today?
I really liked that 3-minute past, present, future, because we've spent hours and hours, countless,
Me too.
working out things, and that will work.
It's fascinating, isn't it? Because it's kind of a relic of a judicial system, isn't it? That we have to launch these big investigations because we've got to work out who's to blame and then hand out the punishment. If we said, we're not a judicial system, we're actually a collaborative system. We're supposed to work together on this and to solve problems together. That might actually be a better fit to work differently than to take something from a judicial system.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that what you found?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I really, I've got a couple of kids that are pinging in my head.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try it on the first day back, guaranteed.
And for me, I don't know about you, but for me, the wonderful part about P3, F3 for me is that you can teach it to the kids.
Yes.
So they become less reliant on us.
On us to do it for
Yeah,
them.
yeah, and they actually, it's only 3 steps, learn them, and you're in your 6,
can
go
do
do
it.
it yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they've come up with it themselves, you know, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's some ownership there for them, and from that ownership springs a bit of responsibility.
Yeah.
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 Because they're not asking you, okay, what do I do? They're coming up with the
Yeah.
answers.
Well, yeah, they're coming up with
So a more important question, did you have a good time today? What was good about today's experience for you?
Machine gun, like, you know, get all this in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got hit pretty hard, didn't you?
Yeah.
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 But lots
Still
of
waking
different-
up.
You still waking up? There's coffee out
Yeah,
there.
it's
We'll be
cool. Yeah,
fine.
no, that's right. No, it was awesome. It was, yeah, like I said, pinging the whole way through and very relevant. So it was really good. Thank you.
Thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you.
in. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, Brendan, thank you so much for coming in again. Good to see you again. You spent 2 hours of your own time having a look at improving student behaviour. What was probably your biggest takeaway out of today?
Probably overall how we can improve school culture and the role that teachers of course have in that, and the amount of different ways they can improve school culture and what it takes. I talked to you about the PBS, it's something that we've implemented,
Yep.
and the positive behaviour, and we have the values of respect, responsibility and
Yep.
resilience, which are very common, but how
Yeah.
we can, the importance of living and breathing that,
Yeah.
modelling that, and if you don't do that, well then you may as well not have it at all. So that's something that I'll take back to our school, and where we can take that PBS to another level, and how we can ingrain that in the school,
Yep.
and therefore improve the culture among the students, parents and
It's
staff.
that culture thing, isn't it, that kind of drives the way that people actually conduct themselves, and that's our focus been today, about how we can move away from thinking about how do I change the behaviour of that student to how can we change the culture that that student walks into. It's a bit of a different mindset for us as educators, isn't it?
Yes, the context and the environment influences behaviour, which is maybe something we can underestimate.
Yeah.
But certainly that's something that will I'll be taking back again and thinking to myself, okay, this is what's happening in this situation, here's the reason for it, how can we improve it?
It's funny, isn't it, how we underestimate the influence of it, but we also underestimate the scope. Like we've got so much that we could change in our schools, in our practice, and in our architecture of our classrooms, so that these kids feel something different when they walk into that environment. We sort of sometimes, I think in our busyness, forget to do that, don't we?
Yeah, you can overlook it, and just a small tweak here and there, and someone maybe step in and say, this is what you could do, will have a much greater outcome
Yeah.
for that small little tweak and
It'd be good for our teachers to get a bit of return on investment for those little things, wasn't it, for a change, instead of trying so hard and getting no return in terms of conduct on the other side. Yeah, hey mate, thank you so much for
no
coming
problem.
in.
Thanks very much, Adam.
Good to work with you again.
No problem.